Well, let's talk about something very nice today. We're going to talk about sharing.
Sharing is caring.
Your grandma was right. You should share. Um, I think one of the key things that makes GIS work, I was having this conversation with somebody yesterday who's one of the Esri event planners, and he was saying just how nice people are to work with in GIS. I think part of it is because of that sharing thing, right? We work together and we make things go. Um, and so that whole, I think that whole philosophy sort of just runs rampant through it and in a good way.
Yeah. So, and when you're in ArcGIS Pro or ArcGIS Online and you've made a map and you've worked really hard on it, and Barry's got an example one that he's going to show, um, it's great for you to appreciate it, but probably there's somebody asked you to do that map and you need to share it to them or you need to share it for yourself. So, we're going to show you how to share your work. So here's his beautiful. Tell us what this is, Barry.
So we have an old cabin up here in the mountains near Lake Arrowhead, not that near. So because we don't want to pay for lake rights. Um, I do not wish to buy a boat because I do not wish to have to sell a boat. Uh, anyway,
Or maintain
so this is our association, 199 parcels. And so we have within it our individual parcels. This was Forest Service land that people rented their land and like for long terms. And then the Forest Service decided in the 1960s they didn't want to do that anymore. So they gave the individual properties, well, they made those individual properties, I should say, and they sort of let each one pick out how much land they wanted and draw their borders. So, and then
nice.
the big provision was then all these color areas here designate the common areas. And so we have to maintain those common areas for fire safety and all that good kind of stuff. So, um, I
So
made a
yeah,
layout.
yeah, you can see Barry worked really hard on that map, and
Yeah.
then he made a
Well,
layout.
and I keep making little changes to it. So you see, I originally made this in July of 2015, and here this revision is from 8 years later. And I actually need to do a new one because I have some little, the parcel lines don't change, but some other things we want to show change. And we also own these roads that are mentioned on here. So Sunset Loop, that's this one. And these are barely better than dirt roads, but they're kind of cool. And so we have to maintain those. And that's a major expense. So people need to understand where these things are. They need to understand where they sit in terms of the common area. Like this one's just floating out there, really by themselves. Cool place. Most of these are smaller places. Um, and we actually don't allow big houses to be built because it just doesn't work. We're in the forest. So, um, put this together, made our lots are just the simple, um, they're actually a outline with no fill. And then the other lots E through X are the colors. And you see lot X is very small. It's just this little stripe here, but it needs to be maintained.
All right.
So, yeah, I put the thing together, and then how do you share it? Then what do you
So
do?
let's go up top to the share tab, share menu, I guess. So you can see there's lots of ways to share a map. The ones we're going to talk about here is probably the most common, and that is either print the layout. And so if you click on that, then you get another pane on the right.
Which is coming up off screen. Can you see it now?
Nope.
Okay.
Oh, now we can.
All right.
So you get a new pane. Whenever you pick one of those things, you get a new pane. So of course you have to be connected with the printer. But yeah, this is one of the easy ones is you can print. And it's odd in my work, a lot of times print stuff just to look at it to see how the screen coloring and stuff translates to the printed. Um, and I don't think of it as sharing because I'm printing it. But if you ever need to print, that's where you find it is under the share tab. The one right next to it is the export layout. This is one that I use probably the most, and that's
Yeah,
where
me
you
too.
can export typically I do either a PDF or a JPEG. If it's going to be something that they're using in a PowerPoint or something like that, that's usually a JPEG, but typically PDF. And
And
click
you
on
have
one of
two
those,
kinds,
Barry.
the flattened ones and the vector ones. The vector ones are actually somewhat interactive still, which can be very cool. And assuming they're used on screen and not printed by somebody. But the flattened PDF is faster. And if you're just going to be sending somebody to print or share or out, then it makes more sense and
Actually,
a smaller, much smaller file size.
will you not make a choice and get out of that?
Yep.
Okay. So if he clicks on that tool on the top part, it'll just open the pane. He clicked on the down arrow part of it, the down little caret, and that's what gave him those choices. But click right there.
Yeah, thanks for
Then
mentioning that
click
because
click
it's
the
really
top part.
easy to on a lot of the different tools, there's the hit the down arrow and you're
Yeah.
going to get something different. A lot of times you just want what I'll
And
call the
sometimes,
default.
yeah, and some of that stuff can is overwhelming. So
It
now
is.
you get the pane on the right hand side, and I gotta move our heads out of the way so that I can see what it
Yeah,
says.
I do the same thing.
So then towards the top, right off the bat, it's going to ask you what file type do you want. So you click that down arrow, and it's easier. So there's a PDF. You can see there's all kinds of ways you can export, but
A
then
Savage file. I don't know what that is.
Savages. I like the
Yeah, and
one.
Savage is.
Yeah,
That's
and
what
then
I write on walls.
you would browse to wherever you want to store it.
So
Um,
let's just say here, the ones I use almost exclusively. Okay, say exclusively, because this will be all the ones I use. JPEG, PDF, and PNG. That's what I use.
Yeah, so now you know there's more. I do love that clipped graphics extent choice, especially for JPEGs. That's really nice. So you don't have to then open it later and crop out all of the margins, the paper margins. So see that little one right underneath where the
This,
path? Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So yeah, and then you can change resolution. You can do all kinds of stuff. Then you would say export at the bottom.
And, oh,
Um,
you got to make sure you have it set to the right spot. Often this will be to something you set 3 projects ago, and you don't know quite why it's doing that, but you want to take a look at it and go, oh, okay. So I have a folder
and
for these,
yeah,
and then
often
you
I
can see
forget
that.
and I do export and then I go look in the folder I thought I sent it to, and it's like, it's not there. What happened?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because you put it in the wrong.
Anyway, and then export, and off it goes, and then it will say, do you want to see what it looks like? And I always say yes because you should.
Why isn't that showing on the pane, Barry,
What?
that it's running?
It's not running.
Oh, you
I haven't
haven't
hit it
clicked it
yet.
yet. Oh, okay. I thought you
Yeah.
clicked it. I was like,
Let's see. So
something
where does
must
this
be.
think it's going? Document. Okay. Wait a minute. Which one? I have multiple versions of that. Sorry, I've got to undo that. We're going to go back into that because I hit something I did not want. Okay. Now this is cleaned up. And remember, you can always do that. You guys undo, right? In this case, I just closed it and reopened the tool.
Yeah.
So, how
And
many
if you want to,
copies?
oh, and if you want to overwrite something, it knows that it's already there and it'll ask you,
Yeah.
hey, this already exists. Do you want to overwrite it? And you can go, yeah. Or you can go, oh, no, that's not what I wanted. So,
And
yeah. So at the bottom there, it gives you the status of what's happening. Um, yeah.
hang on, my computer just got upset over something. And That pane has disappeared. My computer just did something funky, but anyway, won't worry about that. And then you can open up the one in
Yeah.
particular I'd like to do is open file location. And then you have that window open that you're going to need. So like if I've done a JPEG that I want to stick in something, like in a document or whatever, then I have it right there, easy to do, or to put it in an email. I don't have to go navigate back to it again. And plus I can look at it right from there.
Yeah.
So
And then there's also, I mean, I just do Control C, Control V, but at the top there's also a choice for capturing to the clipboard. And then let's see. Yeah, so we're not going to do a whole video for the next one, which is publishing, but just so you know, if you want to publish, right under that word imagery at the top, there's a thing that says replace web layer, or sometimes it says publish web layer. And that's a way to publish a web map that you can use in an app, you can use in ArcGIS Online. That's a way to actually publish not the layout portion, but the map. Oh, actually,
um,
maybe if you click the map tab, then it'll look different.
one other thing I want to mention here is you can see I've got a couple other pieces of flotsam and jetsam here. So I have a table over here. So that there's a reason I don't have it on here, that I have it off to the side because I have sometimes I want to include it for people with a particular use. And I didn't need to make a separate layout for it because it's exactly the same. I just slide that in. And then this other thing here is the service credit layer, which is the lovely thing. And some people say you must always have it. The problem is it's in the way. It's always in the way. So, and it's visual clutter. So sometimes when I know people are going to say, well, where did you get all this stuff? Then I can stick that on there and they go, oh, okay. So the default, it's going to show up stuck on the bottom of your map. So let's go back here to layout. Where am
It's
I?
insert.
What's that?
It's insert.
Oh, thank you. And let me move our pictures again. We're just in the way today, aren't we?
Yeah.
And then in dynamic text, scroll down
Under
and
layout in the
there we
middle.
go. Service layer credits. So you click on that and then you stick it out here on the side of your map. Boom. It does that. Now, this one I had added in. Now, now I can kill it. The one that is default on your map, you cannot remove. So when you create a new one, it makes that one disappear.
And this is nice because then, you can extend the box so the text doesn't take up 3 lines, it only takes up 2. You can make the font a little smaller, you can make the font
Yeah.
a different color. You have more control over it when you
And you can
separate.
also change it to say the sources that really matter here.
Yeah.
So this is the important things here are what? So like in this case, San Bernardino County Assessor's Office provided the parcels. That would be one that I would want to include if people were asking that.
Yeah.
Slick.
Yeah. Will you click on the map tab? I mean your map frame? Yeah,
Yep.
thank you. And then go back to share. Yeah, so see now you can make a web map, you can make a web map layer. You've got a bunch, you can print or export from the map tab as well.
Yeah,
You're
it's really
gonna
neat
get,
that
yeah,
you can have created a map that's just the way you want it, and then go, okay, now I want other people to see it.
yeah,
I do like to fill in the tags if it's something that I want people to have to like find it later on. Because they're going to look for these things. They could look for these things in ArcGIS Online, right? If you're saving it to the general public.
yeah.
And see, we
You
have the
can do it
sharing level.
either
So
to online or to your portal.
yeah, and then everyone. So Don't do everyone if this isn't something that should go to everyone. You can see I have a bunch of groups here. Anyway, and I don't want to do that. This analyze thing is great, by the way. It will tell you you can't share that because, and it'll be very verbose and explain really what it means.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that. It's not like it says, oh, there's an error somewhere. Oh, well, thanks a lot. Now I feel so much better. Cool.
Yep.
So I think,
Sharing 101.
yeah. Well, on that note, I'll stop sharing. Yeah,
All
I
right.
have some candy here. I could share that through the screen. We always have candy. I am my mother's son. What can I say? All right. Well, thank you all for being here. We will get together and get you some more and fill your heads with lots of geographic knowledge.
Yep.
Map on.